sickle cell anemia? Sickle cell anemia is a group of inherited red blood cell disorders, which are therefore not contagious. People with sickle cell anemia have abnormal hemoglobin S, or also called sickle hemoglobin, in their red blood cells. This affects the circulatory system, and it is also most common among those of African descent. What is hemoglobin? Hemoglobin is a protein in red blood cells that carries oxygen throughout the body. Those with sickle cell anemia inherit two abnormal hemoglobin genes, one from each parent. Sickle cell anemia occurs when at least one of the two abnormal genes causes hemoglobin S. So, how does this affect red blood cells? Red blood cells that contain normal hemoglobin are disc-shaped. This shape allows the cells to be flexible so they can move through large and small blood vessels to deliver oxygen. Thus, those with sickle hemoglobin have red blood cells that turn into a crescent or sickle shape. These sickle-shaped cells form stiff rods, are not flexible, and stick to vessel walls. In turn, this causes a blockage that slows or stops the flow of blood. This makes it more difficult for the red blood cells to transport oxygen throughout the body. Sickle cells. So normal red blood cells live about 90 to 120 days, but sickle cells only last 10 to 20 days. The body is always making new red blood cells to replace the old cells. However, with sickle cell anemia, the body may have trouble keeping up with how fast the cells are being destroyed. So this keeps the number of red blood cells lower than normal. This causes anemia, meaning a person having less energy. Most children with this are pain-free between painful crises, but adolescents and adults may also suffer from chronic ongoing pain. Over a long period of time, sickle cell anemia can harm a person's spleen, brain, eyes, lungs, liver, heart, kidneys, joints, bones, or skin. Sickle cell anemia crisis. The crisis caused by blocked blood vessels. Experiences pain in bones, muscle, and spleen. This may happen several times a year or every few years. This is more likely to happen during low oxygen levels or dehydration. Anemia may have negative effects on lifestyle. For example, the person may experience frequent fatigue, pain, and also become more susceptible to other diseases. Depression is also an effect of the disease. When diagnose this disease, there are many methods for identifying types of hemoglobin. For example, hemoglobin evaluation. One example is hemoglobin electrophoresis, which measures and identifies the types of hemoglobin. Another type is the DNA analysis, used to determine any mutations in genes that produce hemoglobin. This identifies whether someone has one or two copies of the hemoglobin S mutation, along with other mutations. Little to no risk associated with these tests. There are many benefits. If you can diagnose sickle cell anemia early, doctors can figure out how to deal with it. Likewise, there are some treatments and medications, while the only cure is hematopoietic stem cell transplantation, also called HSCT. There are many medications such as hydroxyurea, which reduces the possibility of crisis.